Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're doing great and awesome. In our video of tonight, we're going to go through some basics of how I read certain books. This is one of my favorite books that I've been recommending to my followers. It's called They Came to Baghdad by Agatha Christie. The interesting thing about this book is that it talks about Iraq, so it's more related to our life, to our society, to our people. But the first thing that I do when I start reading, I simply jot down the date of me starting the reading and then building on flipping the end of each one of the chapters, because that is going to keep me on record of where I started and where I plan to be in my next reading. The interesting thing about my reading is that I do not take care of the books that I read. I take lots of notes because I'm kind of kinesthetic, kind of visual learner. Now, regardless of these kind of titles and nomenclature, what I do is that whenever I find interesting word that is used in artistic and specific kind of style, I just highlight it, bolden it, do some circles or squares or rectangulars around it. For example, the word predominant here that you just see, the words threaded, the word stocky. These are certain words that are used distinctively in this book, and specifically the first chapter. As I said, I flipped the end or the tail or the bottom of the page just to give me an indication of where I reached, because if I look at the book holistically, I'm not going to be very realistic about my reading. So I just need to keep my goals short and achievable and manageable and tangible, observable, and the other aspects that we always talk about. Now I do some reflection by asking myself, what do I know about certain words? Like, for example, here, the word honking. I'm putting a question mark on this word because to some extent I want to see how the author is using this word and adopting this word in her writing. But I end up jotting down these words in a separate white sheet of paper because I need to keep them for my next lesson. I need to develop a lesson where I present these words to my followers and my students and my learners. And one way we do that, or one way I do that, is simply by writing down a vocabulary log. A vocabulary log is a list of vocabulary that we come across and see on a daily basis. When I write these words, I usually stack them in a separate sheet of paper or separate dossier or file where I have a look at them again the next morning or the next evening whenever I have access to this book again to be checked out, and also review them. There is certain kind of process that needs to be done if you want to ensure that you keep these words in your memory forever. Now, as you notice here that I wrote down these example words. So the word honking, the word melancholy, the word pedestrians. These are certain words that I usually jot down, and in case I see them used in very distinctive and artistic manner. Not necessarily you should you be stuck with this sort of pattern of reading, but probably this is going to give you a chance to explore my reading style. Developing your reading style is going to ultimately improve your writing style. Another way, as you notice here, that I'm scanning and skimming, doing some overview of the chapter and see the kind of words, the kind of narrative that the author is using to get to a level of understanding of what they're talking about in this chapter, and bring that sort of chapter, matching it up with my experience with in life, by asking myself, what do I know about what the author is talking about? And building on my experience, there's going to be far more engagement with the chapters of the book, more than just going through the lines line by line without creating some sort of relevance. If the brain does not find any sort of relevance to the kind of topic that you are focusing on, it's probably not going to respond efficiently to that topic by the end. That was just an introduction to how I approach my reading. If you find it useful, just click subscribe and follow the channel, and we'll try to present you more videos of this kind. Thank you so much. مدرب اللغة وليد خالد.